Action. What's he up to now? Well, you're looking at the hang tight heat seeker quilt with its ground modification. In other words, it has more material here and a little toggle system for when you're on the ground to keep the draft out. That said, this is a relatively lightweight fabric. It's not exactly water resistant, so in my opinion you might pair it with a Bivy. I was just looking at some old stuff that I have, you know, hobby stuff, and you can find these pretty cheap. And right now I have a typical setup. I have a Nemo pad, just a foam pad stuck between this Bivy and your 30-degree patrol bag of synthetic insulation. One good use, I think, of an affordable quilt like this is you could really extend this range. You could take this system, instead of the big black heavy patrol bag or the heavy winter bag, you could just slip your feet into this and tuck yourself into this system. Now you have the weather resistant Gortex, and you have the outer synthetic shell to catch your vapors, and you have this with your down insulation. And for the really cold, you might just move it a step further and have this somehow, this nice heavy down mat or insulated air pad. And then of course the bottom is a commonly found car windshield thingy. So there it is, just two systems I'm testing. Checking back in, just comparing and contrasting. We have hang tight heat seeker. Looking at this common military bag used for many years, widely available. They have a draft system with this Velcro where when you're cinched in there, you can kind of bring this across yourself in some way and just cinch it up. They have some cords to cinch up the hood. They have some different gizmos and gimmicks. This could use the same as its underquilt component, just something to help cinch around your neck. Even though I don't use that a lot, but if you really want to call it 20 Fahrenheit, it can get cold and windy. Checking back in with some vinyl ideas, your good old buddy Brooks. Good old backpacker Brooks, I guess. This is the hang tight quilt. It would fit very well as a replacement to that big heavy military patrol bag. So people that like this military system could kind of integrate the down. You know, picture yourself sliding into the down. That's why I never use this. It's just kind of heavy. But for the really cold and bad weather, and maybe just with only a tarp, you start making up tracks there, and starts becoming more of a value. Action. Just another look at the hang tight modifications for the ground. All it is a loop that a shock cord goes through. Pretty simple. Pretty easy to install. You get that in 3 places, so you can just open up and slide yourself right into that bag, and this little bit of extra fabric serves as a collar for draft. So well thought out. Again, I think it also complement a system like this for just that kind of solo minimal cowboy country camping type thing. Just slide that down, slide your foot into that down, and slide it right in there. Oh hey, it's good old buddy Brooks. And we're going to talk about winter camping. You can see that I have some sort of an insulated pad. This happened to come out of a car window. It was laying on the side of the road. And I like it. Then I have my sleep system. My sleep system right here is made of a fairly robust nylon, good and wind resistant. It's got down insulation, and it cinches around my neck like this, and I have my breathing systems, which is important because your breath vapor is how a lot of things get wet. The fleece here, the fleece kind of, it captures my breath, if you will. So when this gets wet, I can wring it out a little, I can move it around my face, and I have this, I carry a couple more little fleece pieces for when I'm hiking, headbands and stuff to wrap around my neck and my face and my nose, and I can switch those out. I can do the same when I sleep. This has an integrated pad, so down under there, I'll get a better picture so you can see my well-insulated sleeping pad and my little pillow system. My puffy jacket's in there. If I get really cold, I can take that puffy jacket out from being my pillow and shove it down into my quilt, sleeping bag, whatever you want to call this, my sleep system. That way it's pretty flexible. Like, I don't have to have, this is rated at 30 Fahrenheit. I'd personally recommend maybe like 15 or 20, but I'm not carrying like a minus 30 sleeping bag, which is huge. It'd be huge. So I have my clothes on, my long johns, my base layer, if you will. I'm even wearing my jacket right now. I'm kind of lazy about, if it isn't, it's actually, this is another trick too. You know, the Gortex or plastic or whatever in your raincoat, as long as you're not too hot and sweaty, it keeps your body vapor from basically over a long period of time. If we were hiking for days, you know, it keeps that vapor from going into the down of your sleeping bag. And then there's just another trade-off: down insulation versus synthetic. Sooner or later your sleeping bag is gonna get wet from humidity, weather, whatever. Your down's lighter, what all the mountaineers use. Synthetic, I like synthetic too, so it's just a matter of how much weight you want to carry. But this is about sleep systems. You know, the other way you could go is just your sleeping pad and a quilt on top. I find that a little drafty. Or just your sleeping bag on top of a pad, but I just feel like then you're kind of sliding off the pad and everything, and why not just have everything all integrated? There's the pad, sleeping bag. There you go. This is a Nemo sleeping bag, a Moonwalk 30. When you're picking a sleeping bag, this is something important. People do this for room. They say, I want a lot of room. And that's Nemo's take on it too. It's a good mid-season bag, but in the winter, when it's cold and snowy, you want to make sure that you really don't have a lot of room in here. Here, there's a little too much room. That's nice for comfort, but A, that's more material for weight, and B, that's more area that your body has to heat, so it's not going to be as warm. So that's something to keep in mind for the cold. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy the winter a little more here. And oh, this is another trick lately I've been using. I really like night hiking. During the day here, this morning or whatever, I'll sleep in. It's warmer outside, and I don't mind it. At cold, like the depths of the early morning, it's just kind of hard to sleep because it's so cold. And I'll get my rest now, and I love the moon, how it illuminates the trees and the snow and everything. So that's just a little trick, just picking the time that you travel. One could easily travel at night on their hiking, and your own body heats you up a little more, and then maybe during the day get a little more rest. So there it is. Over and out from the winter. Alright, some final thoughts before nightfall. I think this is a good system if you just live in the country and maybe you're out in the rural area, you're going to the local saloon and you want to strap something on your back, maybe you're a Boy Scout, and you just want something with your buddies to lay in the tent and be warm. You know, again, it's not really for ultralight backpacking, but for budget and most, you know, general durability and use, a lot of people see this as proven.